Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Skullgirls GR8 After Hours. This week we did have a couple of issues on September 10th, since Twitch.tv was down for about a half an hour to an hour. Some of the matches were played offline, and I'm going to be making some quick commentary about what you guys could have done to improve. I want to make sure there's some sort of advice posted online about your play. This time we only have one matchup. It's going to be Beverly Hillbilly versus Rhea for the After Hours. Simply because we had one other, but they ended up playing online anyway, so it didn't really matter in the long run. And yeah, we'll get started. Rhea, I have some comments about what both of you guys said in the signups for this whole event, but we'll get around to it like between matches. I also know that you guys have provided me 6 games. While we only usually normally do 3, I'll just watch through most of them, probably. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this does not become a normal thing. I would like Twitch.tv to not do this to me. So at neutral, you went in with that like high hit, like jumping heavy punch. You didn't have any sort of conversion off of that. Practice that conversion. There's got to be something you can probably get out of that. I'm not the best player at all, so you might want to start asking players who actually do play better. But I'm pretty sure you can do something from that. Otherwise, that tool at neutral is almost useless. Okay. Good use of your assist calling after you actually started already hitting your opponent and they were already in block stun. So I noticed a lot of the times throughout the sets, what you end up doing is you call your pain wheel assist before you start attacking, and then it ends up getting both of you caught because your opponent presses a button and catches both the assist and you. So practice that timing when you're calling your assist. Okay, a little bit off on the timing for that chirping. So a lot of like just neutral hops, press a button, trying to keep spacing away. Okay, so that's something I also vaguely recall from when I watched this video a little bit earlier, that you like to use dashing forward or dashing back a lot as a movement option for pain wheel. I actually recommend using flight cancels and just flight in general to move around a lot more, because that will help you actually control and gain space and avoid a lot of your opponent's attacks a lot more effectively. Your dash as pain wheel is a very slow move, and it's also like very directed, like you can't suddenly just change directions on it. Another thing I remember you seeing like just a few seconds ago was you were pressing a lot of buttons when you were here and your opponent was at the opposite side of the screen. You were pressing like a lot of jabs, like a lot of mediums, a lot of heavies. Unless it's a projectile, unless you have some sort of neutral tool or like a read, like your opponent's about to like dash it. Like, for example, what if your opponent used bypass and then you magically hit them? It's like, cool. That happens never, and it's also usually on accident. You usually want to not be pressing buttons at full screen distance unless it's like a projectile to keep your opponent under pressure. That was a long way to basically say it's like you shouldn't have been pressing buttons when you were so far away from your opponent. But basically all it was going to do is get you hurt. Alright. Move on to round 2. A lot of things that I talked about were like movement options on your pain wheel, converting off your Bella highs for Beverly Hillbilly.
Time to operate.
Also, like things you're doing at neutral. So those are probably going to be the things I focus on. I also want to see what you guys do at round start. Now, if I remember correctly, both of you do an empty jump at round start. I believe Rhea starts aggressively and Hillbilly cleverly starts defensively. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Does catch low, so implied that Beverly Hillbilly is going to up back again. Okay. Went for a push block into the reversal super. That's a pretty common option. Don't feel too bad about that, Rhea. Like, anytime you try to reset your opponent, that is a very normal thing to expect. Again, you did the thing where you didn't wait till your opponent was in block stun before you called your assist to lock him down. So when you're using an assist like that, it's called a lockdown assist because you're forcing your opponent to keep on blocking. But if you're not hitting your opponent before you call your assist, they could be getting hurt or they could be blocking. You're in a very unsafe situation because someone Bella can press any button and hit both of you. Like that. Okay. and now suddenly all of your Painwheel's health just disappears, and you haven't even had Painwheel on point yet up to this point. Because remember, assists take 1.5 times the damage that most characters would normally take. At least I think it's 1.5. It's some sort of multiplier.
Just one more.
Round 3. Now let's see how everyone jumps. I think both players jump defensively. Good decision. You're also covering your space as you jump back, or jump and air dash back as Philia, so that was a kind of cool option. Okay, so I think you just lost track of where you were and what buttons were pressed when you were doing that string, because that didn't look like a burst bait. If it is supposed to be a burst bait, watch your spacing a little bit more. I know there are burst baits that are very, very similar to what you did, but at this point in the game, there are probably no instances where you should actually be doing accidental bed bursts, especially with the amount of experience that you actually have with the game. So be a lot more careful with your spacing and actually doing your subs correctly. See, once again, like I think that was like a spacing thing, because I've seen burst baits like that. JP uses that one a lot. At least I think JP is the one who uses that one a lot. Maybe it was Scott Whale. I think it was actually Scott Whale that used that one a lot. Oh, that was interesting. Really cool looking. Got the corner key, do a grab reset. Alright, raw tagging. Beverly Hillbilly. Come on, I thought we were beyond this. Very rarely should you be raw tagging when you're under pressure. Okay. Alright. So, that time it was a very reasonable time to call your assist, even though you weren't actually already hitting them in any way, shape, or form. And the reason I say that is because your Philia was really, really far away and was safe from both your characters being hit at the same time. And you can use that to bait out Bella hitting Painwheel, and then you, with your Philia, suddenly stop the Bella, like because you opened her up. So that is a reasonable way to call your assist if you want to call your assist before you start attacking your opponent. Alright, let's get blocked and punish. Oh, okay. You actually waited a long time to punish. That's actually very reasonable because Bella's level 3 safe. So it was actually a good decision to keep on blocking. Oh, Beverly Hillbilly, you're falling back into your old habits. Gotta stop that. You can't use like lights and mediums that are multi-hitting very early on in your combo. That stuff is a no-go. So remember that like lights and multi-hitting moves end up scaling your combo. Each one makes your combo go down by like I believe every hit does 85% or 85.7 or 87.5% of the damage that the previous hit did after the first 3 hits. It's a lot of numbers, so ignore it if you don't understand scaling. But basically, you want to have heavy multi-hitting moves in the beginning and light and medium multi-hitting moves near the end. Or heavy single-hitting moves is honestly even better near the beginning of your combo. Ooh, okay. I think that was supposed to be a cross-under. Remember that whenever you cross under your opponent, the inputs are based on the direction that your character is facing, not where your opponent is. That's really, really important. So like after that hairball, if you want to cancel into Gregor, for example, like a surprise cross-up, then you have to input it as though you were facing left. Okay, got solid corner combos into a quick jab reset. Quick way to make that a bit more tricky, Beverly Hillbilly, is that you use 2 jabs to hit confirm and then before you went into a jab reset or a grab reset. Instead, do it after the first hit. That's a lot more jarring because everyone knows that light punch can be used to hit twice. So if they're expecting the second hit from light punch and you instead grab, that's a lot more tricky. It kind of ties into your bad habit of using multi-hitting normals at the beginning of your combo to try and hit confirm and stuff, like waiting patiently. Or not waiting patiently, like hitting and using the time to decide if you want to reset or not. Start thinking a little bit faster, I guess.
Did I do okay, Battalion? That's all, folks.
Really, I think like the most important thing you really, really need to work on is actually just getting better timings for when to call your assist. I feel like that's probably the way you struggle the most. Like you're getting some really, really nice resets and you're applying really, really good pressure. It looks like you have like really good setups, but you're not using all your tools correctly. Alright, good burst bait there. The type of spacing was actually correct. They also stopped early, so your opponent would have probably pressed burst well after you stopped hitting him. Really good pressure. Ooh, nice cancel into 360. That was a frame trap. Bella has a lot of options to grab you out of like a block at the end of a block string, and they're all usually flame traps, and some of them are like true grabs too, so it's very, very scary. Very commonly, you will need to try to jump like either chicken block or neutral jump, preferably neutral jump, out of any sort of pressure that your opponent's providing. Of course, Bella has an anti-air grab, so it becomes really, really scary. You can try using reversal super also to try and get out, but like Bella has really, really good pressure because of tools like that. Okay, good neutral ups. You do, especially with Pain Duel, you do really, really nice neutral ups. Nice going into flight. Touch the bypass. Oh, nice block. I think it was a little bit off timing from Beverly. Alright, Rio, you're sitting on a lot of meter. But I mean, I guess you've been fully under pressure for quite a while, so I don't actually really blame you for that one. At the end of this, I'm going to try to remember to skim back through this and see how often you're ending up at like high meter numbers. Because that could be something worthy of concern. So start paying attention to how much meter you're ending every game with, whether you win or lose. And that does not count you using 3 meters to kill your opponent at the very, very end. Because that's just you realizing you have meter and you might as well just do a level 3. Before you kill your opponent, like just before the match ends, how much meter do you have? If you're sitting on 5 bars, that means there's a lot of wasted opportunity that you're like overlooking. There's a lot of moments where you probably could have used a super to reversal, or used the super to extend your combos from earlier, or like maybe like trap your opponent and reset them with a frame trap. Alright, hairball. Okay, cross under. Nice quick instant overhead. I'm only now just starting to realize how much you're being counter hit. Beverly Hillbilly, you're pressing a lot of buttons. Not only for all those counter hits, but also you were bursting there, so it implies that you were like mashing maybe grab or like something because you thought something was going to come in. More counter hits right there. Although Beverly was on the offense in that case, so that actually makes sense that he was pressing buttons there. Alright, Beverly, you want to see a reset? Oh, okay, you just actually dropped it. What you should have done is, well, if you had your assist with you, you should have called your assist while you loaded a bio. So pay more attention that your assist is dead, because that's no longer safe after that. The only reason it worked is because it caught your opponent off guard. Alright, shurikens, convert with bypass. That is something you have to look out for. This is also the main reason why I tell you, like, especially with the pain wheel way earlier, not to press buttons in the corner when your opponent's on the opposite side of the screen. Because Val is going to be throwing projectiles on you, and as soon as a single one hits, convert with bypass, and then you're going to have a sad day. Nice use of armor to command grab to stop it. Alright. Good manners, not making him watch. Oh, nice grab reset with the land cancel. Good stuff. Okay. A lot of basic jumping. Okay, so you're using a lot of instant hair dashes. Now I hear this a lot from people. Stick to hair dashes with, or instant air dash with into light kick, I believe, or jumping medium punch. are the two that you want to be air dashing into. While jumping heavy punch is disjointed, it is also just very, very slow and easier to punish, I guess I should say. So be very careful about that. It's good stuff. That was a good game. I did want to go back and I want to quickly skim how much meter your ending match is on. So let's quickly just mute this. Rhea, you were ending on 5 meters there. You ended on 3 meters there. So you hear, I can actually tell you're using a lot more meter. So you're using 3 meters there. So it's only on occasion, but on certain matches you're ending with 4 to 5 meters. So you should be a little bit more careful about that. But like, it's not a huge concern. There are some people who do it like every single match. They're ending the match with 5 meter. I know Sunset's a big criminal on that department. But yeah, well played by both these players. You guys are both actually pretty talented. I mean, you guys have both played the game a lot. Rhea, play a lot more against actual people. Practice your setups and whatnot. Like, especially like your burst baits and whatnot. They needed a lot more work. They needed a lot more practical practice where you were actually trying against other characters and like other players who are actively trying to get out of your burst baits. Because you seemed almost unprepared to deal with it when they actually did burst. I don't know how true it actually was when you said that you've only actually played the game against real people for 20 hours. But there are mild signs of it, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Good stuff. I hope you guys enjoy. If you want more advice, there's definitely other players you guys probably should be talking to. Like players like Fedora Ninja for Val, players like, I don't actually know a really good Bella player from the top of my head, but for Philia, definitely talk to Josh B. For Painwheel, I can't think of a player that is like really strong in that department that you can go to right away. I mean, Swagga is definitely one of them. He's like a good upper intermediate player you can talk to about Painwheel setups. So definitely check those people out. Yeah, and if anyone wants to correct my advice, please do leave comments in this recorded video. I would greatly appreciate it. I can't know everything about everything. I try to get on professional level players all the time to help me out and give advice. There's a lot of people out there that know this game much better than I do. So if you have any corrections or any adjustments or any more specific recommendations you'd like to make to these players, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And for both Hillbilly and Rhea, make sure you check out the comments, because maybe like give it a week or something. I'm sure someone will respond, especially JP. JP definitely loves to help people. He always writes down notes for other people and sends it to them after the stream. So, yeah, thank you for joining me. Enjoy.